Hey fellow Brick fanatics, DJ Bricks here, back for another review, and today I have a Lego Harry Potter 2021 summer set. It is for the 20th anniversary of Lego Harry Potter. It is the Hogwarts Fluffy Encounter. It is set number 76387. It has 397 pieces, is recommended for building ages 8 and up, and costs about $40 here in the United States. And it continues that trend of updating older sets from the first couple waves of Harry Potter back in the day. This one, we finally get a brand new version of Fluffy and the whole challenges for the Philosopher's Stone. So let's not waste any more time. Let's start getting into the set, deconstructing it, and seeing how it stacks up, starting as always with the minifigures. So the first figure we're going to take a look at is the 20th anniversary one. Like all the other ones, she comes on a gold version of that minifigure stand. And then it's just that new stylized Hermione from this wave of sets, just all in gold. It's the same torso that Harry had in the previous set we took a look at. And she comes with the wand piece in gold as well. She comes with that hair piece that originated with her in the 2018 sets. It's just molded in gold, which is a really nice color for that hair piece. She just has a single-sided head there, and then she just has the 20 years on the back there, just to really accentuate that this is what this special figure is for. Next up is, of course, Harry Potter. He does come with his wand piece in that dark brown color, very consistent with him. He has the same hair piece that we've been getting for him for a while for the younger years. Same head from those sets as well, with the alternate expression. The torso is new for this year, for this wave, and it just has a nice little printed torso with the badge and the undervest poking through. And then you just have some nice back printing with the little hood of the robe on the back there, which is really nice. Next up, we're going to take a look at Ron. Again, he has his wand piece in a normal reddish brown color. Same hair piece we've been getting since 2018. Same head too, just like Harry. You can see the alternate there. The only real difference is the new torso print, which is the other one introduced for this year, where the robe is more open, showing the little vest underneath. And you just have the same back torso printing. And then Hermione just comes with her wand piece in tan as always. She has the same torso print as Harry did in this set. Same hair piece that we've been getting with her, and the same head. Pretty similar to the boys. But yeah, that does it for this version of Hermione. Before we get on to the set proper, you do get two wizard cards with this set. These are completely random throughout the sets. You don't know which one you're going to get in each box, but for me, I got Madame Maxine and Salazar Slytherin with mine. So that is pretty nice. Again, you do get two of these, and they're completely random. But let's move on to the actual set. We're going to start looking at the main build of Fluffy, the other main thing in the set. Previously, when we got him the first time around back in 2001, it was just one large molded piece with the dog heads separate, and they kind of did the same thing here with having the heads here molded as specialized pieces. It's the same piece used 3 times, but then the rest of this is just brick built, which I do think the Lego designer did a really nice job at making this thing look really nice. The only off-putting part of this is of course these Mixel ball joint pieces here being in that bright light gray. That's the only thing that kind of throws this thing off as not looking all that good. And I think from most angles this thing looks good. The head prints on the fluffy heads are very nice. You got one that's fully awake with the teeth baring and foamy mouth, one that's kind of half asleep, half awake, and then you just got one that's kind of sleeping and drooling, and that's for a play feature we're going to get into in a minute. But talking about the build a little bit more, I do like these Rocky-esque pieces used here to represent fur, which is really nice. You got a nice part usage here for the tail. All the legs here are built up very nicely, and they do look really great. And even the legs, you looking at how these are built, you wouldn't think that they would be able to support the weight, but they do. They are really well designed, so I have to give kudos to the designer on that. You do have some articulation with this thing as well. All 4 legs can kind of move forward and back to a certain extent, and then all 4 legs have a hinge plate here where you can move it. It doesn't always pose right, but you can get into like walking poses, which is really nice. The tail back here, you can kind of move it up and down if you want, and then all 3 heads here are on ball joints from the Mixels joint, so you can get the inner head has the most range because you can move it all the way up and down, and but the outer 2 you can move them up and down, but you can't really rotate them that much. But they can rotate using that pin. They are attached to a black pin here, so they are free to rotate on those pins, and they can kind of get opposed that way too. But going over that play feature I was briefly talking about, you can just pose this thing in like a sleeping position, put the heads down, which is nice. And pretty much the reason why the outer head on this side and this side looks like it's sleeping, and so you can have it from one shot, like looking this way, it looks like Fluffy's sleeping, and then you can just put it right side up, turn it around, and Fluffy's awake. I mean, it's kind of a it's a nice play feature of including that in the set, which is a thing that happened in the movie. But I do like the creativity here, but it kind of just doesn't look that great when you look at a Fluffy head on. I would have liked to see some interchangeable heads or something, just to switch out the sleeping heads, but that probably would have increased the price of this. But that does it for looking at Fluffy. And looking at another of the builds that is not directly attached to any it's not really supposed to be attached to any part of the building. It's just you build it and you can place it anywhere. It's Harp that was used in the movie to put Fluffy to sleep. It is very nicely designed. I do like the techniques used here. You do got one side sticker on this clear flat piece to represent the strings on the harp. It is one-sided though, so it just looks like it's on both sides, which is nice. Only real complaint about this thing is I don't like that the fact that it's all in this cartoonish yellow. plastic, and then they just have random studs and pieces in gold for accent detail. I think they should have really just stuck to one or the other, not do both. So that does it for looking at this harp. So looking at the main build of the side, it's a piece of Hogwarts. It actually from what we've known, how they've done the connected parts of Hogwarts in the past with this rebooted line, they actually decided to redesign how they did the connectable parts of Hogwarts this year for the 20th anniversary, where they try to go more retro and just have like interconnected stuff, and it's very modular too in that way. And this building wise is supposed to look take inspiration from the original Fluffy's Encounter, just updated to modern standards, and just have a little bit more of a facade to it. You do have this nice balcony here using some parts, some nice rocky detail down here at the bottom. You do have a switch out. Previously with the other Hogwarts sets, we had like gray roofs with some sand green detailing, but considering they're trying to recapture that retro style of the Hogwarts sets of old, they used to use sand green roofs there, so they tried to recapture that, so they use it here. You do have some stickers on the front here, too, for these little brick details on the windows, and then you have a sticker on a stone piece with the Hogwarts crest, kind of simplified. But flipping this around, you have various different rooms here. You have down here what is supposed to be the chamber where Fluffy is kept, with the trapdoor in here. And then you have 3 separate rooms here. You have the room with the devil's snare. That's what this is supposed to be. It's not really supposed to. Let me separate this really quickly, and I'm going to show you before we get into the devil's snare room. This is how easily it is to separate this stuff. So we're going to take a closer look at these piece by piece then. So you got a couple technicals on either side to connect it to things if you want. And then on the interior again, like I said, you have a bone here clipped to the wall for some reason, for imagination purposes, I assume. And then you have 3 black of these fancy vine pieces from the Elves line, molded here in black. And that's again just to represent some little version of the devil's snare. You can actually fit like Harry or anyone in there, kind of make it look like they're trapped there. It's not that great, but I do appreciate them trying to emulate that rather than just not including it at all. And then here, you just, on the inside of where the balcony is, you just have a corridor, which is nice. You just got some space to put a figure, and then you have a couple torches here with those newer flame pieces just clipped onto them. And then top of this top roof, you have this weird classroom. I don't know which class this is supposed to be. It's just a random classroom. You can separate the roof from here, and on the inside of the roof you got this sticker with some teaching, I presume, on it. And you got a little pod on a little mini stove here, and then some representation of some magical items and a candle. And then you have this new printed piece for 2021. It's one of a couple of these. This one is just supposed to depict some amber in a bottled jar, which is really nicely done. And then you can just have the roof on there like that. And then getting into the main section of the build, you have the room that is supposed to include Fluffy. You have a nice candle up top for some light that is very nicely built up. You have a chicken leg in the corner for some food if you want to play with it like that. You have the trap door, which is glad that's included, and it's very easy. They do include one of these handlebar pieces just so you can get a good grip on that. And like the Moaning Myrtle bathroom set, it does include this removable section, which is entirely just so you can get your hands in there and place Fluffy in there if you want to, and then you can put the harp in there somehow too, which is nice. And then if you want to, with the modular style of this thing, you can actually put the devil's snare on top of here like this, so you can actually have the trapdoor go into the devil's snare and have it built like this. The only downside is then you don't have a place to put this roof top, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know, not much you can do there. But it's also fairly consistent. And then from what I can remember, you can also remove the top roof here, so if you want to kind of do that and have something else from another set put on top of there, I suppose you can do that. But I do really love this new modular style that they did design for these sets. It does work out really nicely, and I do appreciate it. It allows creativity. And that's alright. So going over my final thoughts for this set, build wise, I did take a number of issues with it. How Fluffy is designed, I do understand the limitations there with the parts, but it kind of ends up looking kind of hodgepodged, and I don't like the fact that the heads are all three different prints. I understand why for the play feature that they were going for there, but it kind of just doesn't work in like area scene specific stuff, or just in general play. But and other thing is the cartoony color of the harp. I really didn't care for that. I didn't like the modular style of this set in particular, just because of that very top roof part. It doesn't, if you rearrange it in certain ways, it doesn't really have any place to go. So I didn't like that either. Figures are all expected. I do like that golden figure that they include in all these sets, though it is kind of weird to get Hermione in golden form along with a set that actually has a regular version of her, but we did get that in with the Polyjuice potion set as well. So quality wise, again, my biggest complaint is they don't really advertise those collectible cards on the front of the box. They just leave it for the back. I think that they should have included that somewhere here on the front of the box, just to let people know that the only real thing at that price point I highly recommend picking up for any Harry Potter fan, or just any kid in general will love this set. I have a great play experience with it, so I highly recommend it, and it gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me. just comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this set, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you like what you see here, ring that bell as well to let you know whenever I upload new content, since YouTube seems to suck at doing that. And until next time, keep building.